Next lecturer is Miss Vanessa Paim of Brazil. She is the consulting advisor of the National Astrology Association of Brazil, and she is a professional investigative astrologer. Her lecture topic is Consideration on Interpreting Black Moon Lilith.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be participating in this wonderful conference, and I'd like to register my gratitude to Gopal and Alex for the invitation, and to all colleagues and students and participants in this beautiful gathering we are having. My contribution today here is I am bringing the results of my research of 16 to 17 years of deep research as an astrologer and also as a psychologist, Lacanian psychoanalyst, working with adults and with kids as well for some time, and deep thinking and researching with many, many charts. So I'll be bringing in this half an hour what I can, some considerations on interpreting Black Moon Lilith. So to properly understand an astrological point and be able to more accurately interpret it, we astrologers must, as a basic principle, take into consideration the astronomical perspectives of such point, obviously. But sometimes with Black Moon Lilith that doesn't happen so often. People sometimes forget to look into that. And I see it something very crucial. I'll show you why. So let us look into the celestial mechanics and its astrologics before we enrich our understanding with considerations of mythology and other sources of knowledge. So what is Black Moon Lilith? What is this point we talk about? It is the lunar apogee, a virtual point in the moon's orbit around the Earth, which marks where it is at its furthest from our planet. In Sanskrit, it is Bhum Ucha. Bhumi, earth, and Ucha, high. High in the sense of far, something really far away, high. So far from Earth, or the Earth being far. At this point, the moon almost escapes, but is pulled back into orbit by gravity. Yeah, so it's this point where the moon almost escapes, but it's there that gravity shows its force. So a question of mass and distance, as Isaac Newton would say, gravity. This is something to have present when we look into Black Moon Lilith. So the apogee, here is the apogee, always opposite to the perigee, obviously. I think this is something you're probably all familiar to. But so that's the point of Black Moon Lilith, yeah? So when the sun is actually close to Black Moon Lilith, as we are having now, either in the previous sign or one after, when we have the full moon, we have the supermoon, because that's always in opposition to Black Moon Lilith or around the opposition. And how do we calculate it? Yeah, what do we consider? The mean node, this one above, yeah, or the true node. Since 1992, we've been having the calculations for the true node, but until 1992, we only had the mean node being considered. Not studied by many people, but the people that studied had only the mean node. And my suggestion is to prioritize the mean node, because this mean node is actually the effect. Okay, the mean node is more expressive in energy, in our reactions. So it will tell us more, and it will be something really that we really need to deal with. But if we want to look into it and check out for more information, yeah, we can find out some interesting things also about the cause of the matter of that certain black moon Lilith by checking the true node as well. And there's still a third point, yeah, a triple goddess. So there's the empty focal point of the ellipse, and that point, if we consider the center of the Earth straight to the lunar apogee, it goes straight into that empty focus, yeah? So that is a third point in the direction of the apogee, but relating to the empty focus, yeah? So the empty focal point of the ellipse, of the orbit. And this point, we'll talk about deeper collective core stuff. So we will connect the person, but to something yet deeper, yeah, something more ancestral, even deeper than it already is. It's actually the most visceral point we have in a chart is Black Moon Lilith. There is this software that is now having the calculations for the three of them. Solar Fire has the lunar apogee, mean and true, yeah. There's another French software that calculates the three of them as well. It's very expensive, but it exists. But Bindo astrology software is cheaper, and it's very good, and it calculates for both Western and Vedic, yeah, because it's Bindo is for both. It's specifically done by a Vedic astrologer, Ehsan Hassani. I was with him in Iran just some days ago, and then he managed to put in these calculations, yeah, so it's a very good tool. I'm very grateful to him, and I surely recommend. So this point where it's at its furthest, yeah, it's like about to escape, but it's pulled back by gravity. So as I said before, mass and distance, relation between Earth and Moon, and it stays 9 months in a sign, the time of human pregnancy. The return of Black Moon Lilith happens nearly 9 years, every 9 years, yeah, and it stays 9 months in a sign, the mean node. It takes 9 days to go through 1 degree, yeah, so if we consider 1 degree orb for a transit to our charts, it's about 18 days, yeah, for the intensity, because actually Black Moon Lilith, when it's approaching, or in a natal chart, we can consider easily 10 degrees, and sometimes even more, because it's so visceral, it moves us in such a way that it can be already like, oh, something strong is on its way, yeah. But, so 9, very, very present, yeah, as moon cycles, it's a point related to the moon. It's not another moon, but it's part of the lunar web, as are the nodes and elements as Cancer, 4th house. So 9 months in a sign. Gravity, pregnancy or gestation. In Portuguese, my native language, it's interesting because the word for gravity is gravidade, and the word for pregnancy is gravidez. So the same root. Yeah, in English we have grave. We can also find in different languages. I've been lecturing in Tehran and in Istanbul, and there are also some connections. It's really interesting because very different languages and they connect. So, but this thing of, yeah, bringing down to earth, yeah, bringing down to earth, materializing, forming a body. It will tell also about our cellular memory, the formation of our bodies, and how the fundamental instincts, yeah, basic survival instincts are actually encrusted in our flesh. Yeah, this very formation, how this basic instinctive reactions mark our body, the formation of our body. It will tell also about our gestation, yeah, the time of pregnancy. It will tell about the visceral experience of the mother during pregnancy. So if the white moon is already unconscious, black moon Lilith is visceral, is yet to a deeper level. And it will really tell about the non-official version, yeah? Let's say a white moon, a moon in Libra, yeah? The intention of the mother is very harmonizing, but black moon Lilith is in Scorpio. Maybe she was going through a really tough time, going through some danger, maybe political danger, maybe someone died in the family, but something way stronger, more intense, and there's another level of instinctive reaction, yeah? How we read from this instinctive level life is different from the emotional level is one thing. Visceral is about survival. It's like the fetus in the womb who does not see, does not understand words and meanings, but senses, yeah? So sensations of warmth and cold, tension and relaxation, pleasant or unpleasant. And this integration, yeah, of this viscerality and of this basic level into the whole of our personality, of our beings, is the moon's function, the mother's function. The moon's function is to reflect the light of the sun to us. What does that mean in psychological terms, yeah? It is the mother who reflects to the child the recognition of his or her self and identity. It is what psychoanalyst Jacques Lacan calls the mirror stage, when the mother serves as a mirror to the child in more than one way. She recognizes the child, the various sensations and experiences that the baby has, and this recognition of the mother, this mapping of the different sensations and parts of the body is what integrates, as she names and integrates then multiple diverse sensations into one unified body. She also reflects the one body that she herself has. And the child starts perceiving her own body separate from the mother. So the moon must reflect the sun, the identity, the sense of self. And to be able to properly reflect, a mirror needs a dark metal behind its crystal. Yeah, you have the crystal and you have the dark metal, the steel or some sort of dark metal to give depth to the images. So this is what Black Moon Lilith is about. Because just the white moon, yeah, just the official version of the mother, or even her intentions, just a smile as, oh, yes, my baby, yes, I'm happy. But if she's not, if she stands, the baby will perceive that. It is way different to do that or to do that. And really put some energy there, yeah? That's what Black Moon Lilith is about. It's about the basic drives. It's about pulsation. That makes possible the integration. And as we see, this point really tells about some very primitive stuff, and at the same time, very crucial for our integration and survival. So in humanity, we find many different expressions in images and words and stories to try and elaborate this basic level, which is yet before or below images and words. Yeah, it's this very primitive impulse, and so we need words and images and stories in different cultures, in different times. It will be expressed with some different details, but it's the same experience, the same aspect of life. So we have in Europe the hag, in South America Teniagua, recently Maleficent, and we have ancient Hecate, and Lilith, and some more. So Lilith, the first wife of Adam, yeah, who did not want to be subjected to him and to his power and only bear kids and be a good wife. So she rebelled and caused a lot of trouble. Yeah, there are so many stories that then she was mean to children, and it was scary. She could eat them, or she could also be the one who would save them. So there's something at this level that can also save life. But as another woman, yeah, separate. And it is interesting that here in India, Kali, yeah, in Hindu mythology, we have Kali. And as Lilith means the night, Kali also means the dark one or the night. And she's also untamable, rebellious. Kali is rather not another woman, though. She is the same Parvati, the beautiful, loving wife of Shiva, Almighty, but she mutates. When her son Ganesh, whom she had molded from clay, was beheaded by Shiva, the lovely and devoted wife Parvati mutated into Durga, Mother Nature, demanding respect for her creative power and fertile expression. As that was not enough to make Shiva understand her, she further mutated into Kali, the dark one, the night, the destroyer, fighting his celestial army and Shiva himself until he finally got it and brought Ganesh back to life, replacing his lost head with an elephant's. And so, all was good again and harmonious in the Holy Family. Yeah? Once her creative force was acknowledged and respected, Kali mutated back into the fair Parvati. So the integration of black moon, white moon. And this is interesting, and I think spending part of my life, of my adolescence here in India, it's been 23 years I hadn't been here, so it's very special to be here again. And, but having lived here, I think is an experience that actually taught me a lot about Black Moon Lilith. Because in this culture, actually, this aspect, this visceral aspect of life is quite integrated. And we see that how it is explained, no? It's very different from the dangerous, all super dangerous and almost all bad Lilith. And in Kali is here even worshipped. And the practice of dancing, martial arts, creative arts in general, not just physical arts, but especially physical arts, and meditation are deeply connected to Black Moon Lilith. Kali is at times considered the original form of all things, being thought of as the dark and formless to which all eventually dissolve, nothingness. How significant when we think of the 9-month period in the womb, this empty space from which life is born. And it is also noteworthy the fact that the apogee is in the same direction as the empty focal point. Saying Black Moon Lilith refers to visceral and raw experience, not elaborated by words and images, has two different perspectives we may consider. The fundamental one, never to be disregarded, is the one explained, relating to a more primitive level, below or before the record of words and images. Yet Black Moon Lilith also relates to those experiences that go beyond words and images. Samadhi, Tantra, the Tao. It has the potential to connect us to a more essential and raw sense of reality and truly perceive it in the flesh, integrated in our bodies. Not just an intellectual lucubration. It can signify presence in the body, being able to respond from a no-mind space, with the radical totality of a samurai or a tango dancer, which has to sometimes like dance moving backwards without really knowing what's behind. Thus, this is an especially important point regarding physical arts and talents. In a natal chart, Black Moon Lilith can indicate a great difficulty, a void, a lack, as well as the potential for a visceral talent. It always has this potential. In everyone's chart, there's the potential there. And it needs to be channeled, yeah? Otherwise, it's a compulsive thing that just somehow limits life in some way. So here again, we notice Kali as the destroyer of demons. To go beyond the difficulty, impulses must be channeled into creative actions. The placement of Black Moon Lilith will tell us what sort of compulsive or visceral difficulty exists and how it can be converted into a visceral talent. Such integration happens not just at the emotional and intellectual levels, but rather operates alchemically at the physical level, transforming destruction into creation. In collective transits, Black Moon Lilith speaks of the tone or of what moves the collective deep down inside, indicating the instinctive undertone of a particular period, reflecting like a backdrop behind our words and images at a given moment. Like now, it's in Capricorn, yeah, tropical Capricorn. And in Vedic, it's still in Sagittarius, yeah. But I put some examples here, which are both the same. Yeah, I managed to find to select specific charts that if I say it's in Aries, it's for both Vedic and tropical considerations. So in the houses, Black Moon Lilith shows an experience through which the body is formed, whilst in signs it shows an attempt to elaborate this experience, to give it a screenplay, a means to convert it into a capacity and a talent, or merely react instinctively. In fire, we see a lack or excess of self, yeah? Here I'll work the concepts with the axis, yeah, of the elements. So in air, in fire and air, considering fire as an affirmation of self, and air as in space opening to other or to something other. So in the axis of fire and air, we have self-affirmation and a space for sharing in air. With Black Moon Lilith there will be either a certain lack or a compensating excess of that, yeah? So it's like in Aries, not being able, feeling like one is not able to affirm oneself and to defend oneself. So that can turn into a compensating violence, yeah? When finally I can, go too much, yeah? Or, as this can be channeled in some sort of creative practice, it can actually become like Bruce Lee, yeah, literally. Or like Osho, yeah, also Black Moon Lilith in Aries. Or like Einstein, who is a pioneer, because then when this is channeled as a talent, it becomes such a force, because it's a visceral talent. It's something that comes really like, it's like our samurai point, yeah? It's like the samurai in us. And in Leo, lack or an excess of recognition. It's like the person feels there's some memory, perhaps the mother was not recognized during the time of pregnancy, or the mother was too much a queen and didn't leave any space for recognition for the kid. Yeah, so, but that can also become a talent as well, yeah? And so in Sagittarius, I'm gonna try and be a bit more quick now. So in Aries, we have Einstein. In Leo, we have Marilyn Monroe. Yeah, when this becomes a talent, you have it fully. You have a visceral impact with that. Sagittarius, we have the publication of civil disobedience. In air, it will be a lack or excess of the other. So it's like there's something about the other which is kind of hard to grasp. And that might give an excess, as in repulsion, attraction. Yeah, very strong in repulsion, attraction. Libra will be about harmony and gender and pairing and being with someone, and it's like a repulsion or a visceral attraction. And that can give many talents, yeah, for harmony and also for breaking patterns regarding gender. So we have Coco Chanel, who created the suits for women. In Aquarius, a visceral pull towards this immense thing that we are all many, many little stars, yeah, the social, so either regarding social ideals or the big empty void. And we have Jiddu Krishnamurti, metaphysics, a deep pull, yeah, deep, visceral, not from the head, not even from the heart, visceral. In Gemini, a pull to this notion of another here, to this other one, the thinking and communicating. It is one point that can tell, if there are other points as well, that can tell about telepathy, yeah? Because it's like going, viscerally being pulled to the thoughts, how the other person thinks. Edward Snowden released the whistleblowing, yeah? When, on the day, Black Moon Lilith conjuncted the White Moon and went from Gemini into Cancer, tropical. But still, it was in Gemini in Sidereal as well. In water, we'll find an incessant flow, yeah, of instincts. So we have hunger in Cancer, and in Earth, the resistance to it, yeah, to this very same instinct. So hunger in Cancer, Capricorn, in Scorpio, reproduction, and be it sex, be it matters of life and death and the mystery of transformation. In Pisces, sleep or dream, in Spanish it's the same word, sueño, yeah? Sleep or dream, fantasy or dissolving, surrendering or resisting to every tiny little detail, resisting to surrender. So with Black Moon Lilith, this all becomes visceral and super intense. I'll skip some of the examples. Darth Vader is a Black Moon Lilith in Scorpio. Black Moon Lilith in Earth, a visceral resistance, yeah, visceral resistance. This is very, very strong, and it can help actually give form to the impulses of reproduction and conserving, and be quite, make things pretty beautiful, even writing and being very, take care of the aesthetics of writing. Virgo, very good for healing, very, very good. It's like having the notion of the exact point, like an acupuncture visceral talent. And being able to feel integrated with nature in a very strong way. When it is converted, yeah, in a good flow, creative flow. And in Capricorn, yeah, is actually where it is at its domicile. So this is an important point. I'm selecting from, I'd have some more examples I could mention, but in half an hour is what we can. But this is a very important point. Now she is in Capricorn, and this is her domicile, yeah? How appropriate for Black Moon Lilith to be transiting in her domicile at the time of this conference. The domicile is Capricorn, opposite to the White Moon in Cancer. Gestating a material body, materializing, bringing down to earth, as well as expelling the baby out of the womb for it to be born. These are Black Moon Lilith's concerns. If we were to depend on Cancer to let a baby go, perhaps it would take more than 9 months. But Capricorn knows the limits of time and the need for becoming an individual in the world. In Capricorn, she is in a position of power in society, playing on equal terms with men. Just now in Iran, where I was, girls started when the sun conjuncted Black Moon Lilith, the first girl took the scarf off in the middle of the square. And she was freed, and other 3 girls went on the square that day. Yeah, I was there, it was strong. So in the Earth cardinal sign, she is also more likely to be able to contain impulses, to be channeled to her greater goals or purposes. Cancer is her exile, for she is not the coziest and most comfortable presence to have in a nest. She can turn out to be wonderful eventually, but not exactly by simple and traditional ways. Her exaltation is in Scorpio, where we could say the force is rather strong with her. Also here, we find it opposite to the moons, which is Taurus. Black Moon Lilith's exaltation in the sign of depth and alchemy, the one willing to look at what might not be always pretty and transform it. And for daring to do so, in Scorpio, she can also find the most precious hidden treasures in the depths of the earth. It is not her home, though, so she might go a bit over the edge and cause some intense drama, like Darth Vader and other examples, but is surely a rather potent alchemical place for her as a guest of honor. It is an honor to be a guest in this magnificent conference and share some of my findings on Black Moon Lilith here, in the land of Kali, during her domicile through Capricorn, Jai Kali Ma. Thank you.